Hey, Fernando.
Hey, then.
How you doing?
Oh. Joy.
We might need that, because...
I know.
Okay. Well, hey, everyone. How's everybody doing on this glorious Monday? You know what today is, right? Other than Monday, you know what we got going on today?
We have a car to do on Monday.
Monday night is Facebook, bro.
Yes. Yes, it
We're going to need that box. That's good. Okay, we need that box. So today is Monday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're on Facebook. We're doing again. Is it Christmas again? It's not Christmas again. It's close. But we have a term for today.
Soon.
So tonight is going to be crossover. Basics of crossover. So we have a great little presentation all set. I still don't know what we're going to do for... We got to figure out what we're going to do for the other thing. The 40 minutes. The special.
Oh,
Ooh. You know what? I think I know what it is. But anyways, make sure you guys tune in tonight for the new and improved Car Stereo Talk with Dean and Fernando over there on Facebook. And if you can't tune in tonight, don't worry. You can rewatch it tomorrow morning on YouTube. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to get to this. We have a Subaru WRX STI that we're putting a system in. And we're going to talk about one of the things inside of this that we talk about a lot that is kind of a pain in the butt. Don't worry, Bobby. We're going to get to it. But before we do that, we got two packages in the mail the other day that we kind of wanted to go through. One of them here is from our friends over there at iData. They know that the Mustang is here, and
we got bubble wrap.
Time alignment on a sub versus no time alignment. Well, it will help to bring the sub base forward. So, but it's at a specific volume. So you have to say this is the magic volume, and this is what I'm a time alignment for. Then when you go below it or above it, it's of course going to shift. But you'll have that one magic spot. So the Mustang is here, and we're going to do two things in it. At some point, we're going to put a radio in it. So for the radio, we have the RR2, we have the MFT1 kit. But more importantly, we're going to put an amplifier in it using the factory radio. So for that, we have the AR harness for that. The FO2 is what's going to integrate these two together. The FO2 is going to be for the RR to replace the radio. So you have these three pieces here, or if you're going to replace the radio, and these two pieces here if you want to keep the factory radio, but just add some form of AR compatible amplifier, which we have that one. And then our friends at Audio Control, this is the AR harness. You see there's no packaging. This is a pre-production. There it is, the DM link. So these are made, they're almost ready to ship. They're just waiting on the paper. So they sent me one just to be like, hey, I'm going to send you one now. So this will plug into the AR, give us AR compatibility. And then if we didn't want to use that, we could use what we're putting in this car, which is a Forza. Those are AR compatible. So we have a lot of options that we're going to test using these harnesses. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you, iData, for sending those out. And if you're not using iData, well, wish you should. Now, we also got another box in from a friend of ours, Nick Apicilla. Nick Apicilla has a shop up there in, is it New York? And he also does sound treatment. And we were talking the other day, and I go, dude, I want to see this stuff. Send me a sample of it. Now, the resistance should go down the bigger the wire. Ooh, so this is the foam. So this is the foam you cover the whole door panel with. I like that. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. It's sticky foam. All right. Oh, wow. That's awesome. There you go. So we got some foam. Now, he sells sound treatment. This is designed to go over the whole door panel inside the car, and he sells regular sound treatment too, but you can put this, it's a closed cell foam, so it's really neat. Does he have a web? I'm sure he has a website. What does the invoice say?
Says Nick. That's it. There's no invoice. It's just
No invoice?
shipping
Just the shipping address? But check him out on Instagram, Nick Apicilla, and hit him up. But this is cool. So we wanted to play with this stuff here because this can go over, once you get done, if you're going to lose your water vapor or just to go on the door panel itself. It's pretty nice stuff. So we'll be playing with this a little bit later. It's not carpet, it's foam. But he's big into sound treatment. And so I wanted to see this stuff. So now we have it. We can play with that. Let's take a look at the WRX. One of the things that we talk about a lot with audio is having the term all-pass filter. All-pass filter is a specific frequency that they've picked here, that they take that one frequency. We've talked about flipping something 180 degrees out of phase. But an all-pass filter, they take that one frequency, or that little small, it's one frequency, but then you have the Q and all that, and they flip it. Just that frequency, just that one. And what that does is that helps to create a center image. It's kind of like, it's not time alignment, but it moves the soundstage around. When you look at it on an RTA, it looks like this. So what you're looking at is either the driver's or passenger door. And if we shut that door off, we turn on the other door, it looks very similar. But when you turn both doors on at the same time, that dip right there, that is the all-pass filter. If you try to time align this now, it's going to do weird things. It's going to drift this way, it's going to drift this way, and you're not going to have that perfect image here. Now, it's actually already imaging in the car. That's why they put it in there. And when you use the Test and Tune app from Educar, this app right here, one of the things that you can use to test is to see how it's imaging. So when you go center here, if there's a center signal, then that's telling you that, and it's a base model system like this one, that's telling you that there's some form of an all-pass filter. Now, if you look at this, it's all the way down here at between 250 and let's say 350. So that's going to affect our mid-range. So if we're trying to time align our mid-bass, we're not going to be able to do it. But because they already have this, it's already got something done. So we don't necessarily need to worry about it. But up here where the tweeter is, because this is going to be an active system where these are active. So these are going to be on their own channel. We can time align the tweeter. So that'll help to steer the sound up into the center. And then along with the all-pass filter in the door, we're still going to end up with a up front, up top sound signature because we're going full active. Now, if we were doing passive, no, we're not going to be able to do anything with this passively. But actively, we can still do this. We can still have fun with it and make it work. But that's the signal we're looking at. So we'll come in and we'll fix this area here. We'll fix this area here. This has some severe bass roll off, but we're not worried about it because we have a ton of bass that we're putting in this, so we can compensate for that. Plus we have the DSPs, so we can boost these frequencies to bring those back up. But that right there, that is an all-pass filter in action. And that is why it sucks. But it doesn't suck, because keep in mind, it's already done. We can use this. We can work with this. We can still do a little bit of equalization and fix our area because, there's the right. And then we'll come over here and we'll flick this one back on, and there's the left. They almost look identical. There we go. That's doing them quicker. So yeah, they pretty much are identical. So all we have to do is do a little bit of equalization. We're all set, and we don't have to worry about this. Oh, not that. We don't have to worry about that. We'll let it do its own thing, and we'll just use it. We'll use it to our advantage. It's the tool we're getting. Now, if we didn't want that, we're like, no, man, screw that. I don't want that. I want to time align everything. I want dead nut center. I want it to be perfect. If that's the case, it's no problem. You could easily fix this with a key lock. So you could put the kicker key lock in here and it would solve that problem. It would flatten everything out. It would take care of that all pass filter and it would give you that. This particular install, that is not that important. We discussed it with the customer and he's like, no, that's what we're trying to do. This is gonna work great. He's already sat in the car. He knows how it images. He's a good audio guy. He's really good at this. So he knows what he's listening to. He's like, no, this is gonna be fine. What's up from Calgary, Canada? Very cool info with visuals. Well, you know us, we like to give you as many visuals as we can, which is tonight. Make sure you tune in tonight because we're gonna be talking about the basics of crossovers. It's gonna be one of those aha moments. Amp Pro do the same thing. The Amp Pro would do the same thing, but they don't make an Amp Pro for this car. And an Amp Pro isn't fixing the signal, it's taking the signal before it can be processed. And what I mean by that is, you have the factory radio here, and you have an outboard amplifier, and or you have a radio that can be reprogrammed, such as a lot of what AR is doing now. If you can take those things out doing that, then Amp Pro or AR will give you a preamp in most applications. This is going to be high level. So this factory radio here, which is just their standard Subaru radio, it doesn't have that feature built into it. So we don't have to worry about it. We're just going to deal with what we have to deal with. But the whole idea behind an Amp Pro or an AR or a Zen is to get that unadulterated signal. It's not fixing anything. It's just taking what's already there. It knows where to go to get it. The key lock is designed for after the fact. Something like this, that solution doesn't exist. I can use the key lock to give me a flat response out of it. You don't actually turn off the all pass filter. You just add that same problem that's in this door to that door, and once you've had, with two things that are backwards, that makes it one that they're not backwards anymore because they're both acting the same. And when I would flick those switches, it would perfectly look flat because it's fixed itself. It's mirroring itself. Any Pioneer radios with wireless Android Auto functionality? Yeah, but good luck finding them right now because they're pretty much all out. Components active off of a key and the Maximo. Maximum rear off, OEM, stock, Subaru, stack. All right, so one of the things that the key doesn't do is the key amplifier doesn't have the ability to fix all pass filters, but the key lock does. So this is a Subaru. You may want to think about getting the key lock to go into your kicker key. The key lock will fix the signal, and then the key will auto EQ and time alignment for you. So stacking the two together will get a much better result as opposed to just doing one. Plus, if there is an all pass filter in your Subaru, which there probably is, the key will not function properly. Like, get into the car and it'll be all the way to the left or it'll be all the way to the right because it doesn't know how to tune it with the all pass filter. It sees that dip that you saw and tries to correct for it, and it can't. Always. I broke my bracket that came with my Kenwood set, and it's in the car, but cracked. Anyway, I can get a replacement. Yeah, I mean, are you here local? Because we have tons of them. But yeah. Another box from Nick today, and it's a ball buster. Ooh, so there's the sound treatment. So I should have waited. I didn't realize he was sending me 2 boxes. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll have the sound treatment along with the closed cell foam. Ooh, man, I'm excited. I'm not saying it's going to go in my car, but it's going to go in my car. So I'll also get the website and all that fun stuff for tomorrow. So when we have the Nick Apicillo sound treatment on, he's got a name for it and all that. We'll give you a link to it. So if you want to get some of his stuff, it's pretty nice. All right. Yeah, the 6903 brackets. You want one of these. You want one of these things right here. I know, this is sick, right? Because these are all 6903 brackets. They're all right there. I know. It's terrible. Thought it would drop in February, early March. What's up with the D139? With the D5 1300, I think we're maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks max away from what Chris tells me. It's on track to come in. So the LC came in first. The D is going to follow up. So we should hopefully have it any I want to say like any day now. So it's coming. Dean, which one of your tools do you use to find out input signal on a factory amplifier or PT9 inputs? All right, hold on, Dean. Which one of your tools do you use to find out input signal to a factory amplifier? Input signal? You'd use an RTA, so you'd use like a PAA3 or a PAA3 Plus or a DMRTA. I mean, you could use an oscilloscope, because you could see, you know, if you're playing a solid test tone, it's like you play like a 1,000 hertz test tone, but no speakers are connected, you could see the oscilloscope rise and fall. But the RTA works the best. You get a graphical representation like we just showed you. The PT9A will tell you the polarity after the fact. So we were just going through so hold on, I'll show you. I actually still have the PT9A sitting right here. See, PT9A Plus. All right, so let me hop over here back into the car, and we'll do that real fast. Fernando's killing it with the roadkill as usual. Go, Fernando, go. All right, so clip on. All right, let me flip this around. So these are the wires. So what we did is we put the radio back in, and then we ran up our inputs and outputs. So this is the rear. This is the front. If you have one of these cars, make sure you go after the Starlink module. I know it sucks. So these are our fronts. We'll come to our PT9A Plus. Oh, wrong button. Turn it on. You can hear the pop. And then we'll put this here. And that tells me that I connected it backwards. So now I can come back. And connect this like this. And then that will tell me I have a green. Now if I wanted to, if I switch this to in like this, and I connected it to these wires, then I could use the phone here to play this same sound, and I could see which one of these wires is popping. So if like that speaker didn't work, or Fernando had that speaker out like he does in the rear, I could just read the signal coming from the radio and see which one is positive and negative. Handy tools for sure. If radio won't come till after 15 minutes after driving. Ooh, time for a new radio, unfortunately. I'll pay to have shipped. Ever upgrade the center channel on a Tundra, or do you just delete them? We always just delete them. It's a dual voice coil speaker that's in the center channel there. It's not a single voice coil. It takes the left and the right signal into it. So trying to find a replacement for it is a bit difficult. Also, if done properly, you really don't need it. All right, guys, that's it. Yes, Bobby, of course. That's it. We're out of here. We're gonna get back to work. Make sure you tune in tonight, and we'll see you then. Bye. Say bye, Fernando.
Bye, Fernando.
How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. We're just finishing up a few touches here on the WRX STI. We'll hop inside, take a look in a minute. This is the last piece here, which is the battery. Fernando's making an overly complicated single fuse holder as always. But hey, we expect nothing less, right? There you go. Let me get it from the right angle here. So this is his fuse holder. There you go. Way to overthink it.
I know.
So just in case you're wondering, the fuse holder snaps into this. There's a bolt here, so there's a bolt that holds the battery, and then a second bolt on top of it. So it's just like that.
We put a washer in here, so it's not resting in there.
The point of it is this panel actually can come off without taking the fuse off. So if like they're going to replace this battery, they're going to take this bolt off, set that panel aside. They can unclip the fuse, set that aside, and still keep it connected to this bolt here if they want, and then put it all back together. So it's serviceable if they're intelligent enough to realize that fuse just on snaps. So hopefully they are. We usually tell the customer, well, I typically tell the customer when I go out, but lots of busy going underneath the hood of this. All right, underneath the passenger seat here, there's an amazing amount of room in these cars. I mean, it is simply amazing. So if you caught the show last night, we showed this stacked up. So we have the Forza 1000 watt mono, and then we have the Forza 8.9 on the bottom. These two amplifiers are going to be running everything. But yeah, dude, it's stacked right in. And then what's really cool is there is a factory bolt right here sticking up, so we could put a nut on it. And then there's another one right there. So we were able to make this mount, just rocks right into place. There we go. Amps are stacked. This is the output here of the 8.9. It's called an 8.9 because it's got 8 channels of power. The 9th is an output, just loops right into here. Before you ask, where'd you find the short RCA? We made it. It's a Stinger X12 RCA that we just cut to length. The remote turn on does the same thing. It comes out here and it jumps up into this right here, and then everything else is zip tied into place. There is this input here is for line level, and then this input here is for high level. So depending on how you're going to run the amplifier, you pick the corresponding input and plug it in, and then these cool white aircraft style colored wires are your outputs. And in this case, this is bridged to, so you have one is up here, 1 and 2 are in the dash, which are the tweeters. 3 and 4 is over there, 5 and 6 is here, and 7 and 8 is on this door, and then that 1000 is running this beast here in the trunk. Oh yeah, lots of bass, so big beefy beastie there. And what I'm just waiting for is Fernando to do that, and then these take an 8 gauge. So what we have is the 2 8 gauges coming out, going to our Stinger distribution, power distribution here. There is a factory ground point right there. It's actually, there's a factory ground that goes there. So a lot of you guys ask where we ground them when we're up underneath the seats. Typically, if you flip up the carpet, there's usually some form of a threaded area that you can screw into. In this case, there's already a threaded area with a bolt in it. So we were able to attach right there, which is really nice. We have a really nice short run. Apparently he likes peanuts. The next question is, this is the light for the glove box. The glove box is still out. It was easier to take the glove box out because we don't have a ton of room in the dash. So all our connections are made up in the dash. There is our LGDs. Nice. We wanted to make sure they had plenty of room to breathe. So we hid the LGDs up here mounted. And then that little pink thing there is the remote turn on if we need it. But this has auto sense on, so we should be okay. And then if you come up underneath here, so this is the air conditioner on the passenger side. If you look, there is our power wire running through the grommets. Yeah, so let's go up underneath the hood here.
Power is on.
That's a lot of room underneath the seat. I know, right? And we still have an inch on top of the amplifier. So if you look down there. Oh, come on, focus. Hold on, give me a second. Let me get this thing to focus on something other. Ah! Anyways, you get the idea. Down there is our power wire where it comes through. Up behind everything, zip ties in place, snakes its way around, away from as much of this wiring as possible. And by wiring, I mean tubing. Lots of tubes in this. The WRX is unique in that they run their brake lines inside of the car, so the brake lines are all right through here. Our power wire actually sits up here on the rail, and then our speaker wires go up and around into the dash this way, so they just come out and go straight up. Really short runs. Pretty nice. Hello, how are you? Let me know how it sounds. Oh, we will. So if I get a WRX, you guys know what to do. We've done a couple of these over the years, obviously.
What is a WRX?
This is a WRX. Yeah, I've never seen one before. What are those? Let's see what we got. I know, it's amazing how much room. Can I see the door sound treatment done working on mine? Unfortunately, Fernando's already put all the doors back together. We missed that opportunity, sorry. Yeah, I know, I feel bad. Basically, each door got, this is what we call our basic plus. So we got 2 sheets of sound treatment, a Stinger sound treatment in there. Part of it went on the door, some of it went on the door panel. We just try to maximize the amount of, put it where it's needed the most with that particular package. You know, otherwise, you know, then it just gets ridiculous. So you just put it, you know, tap and figure out where it's gonna rattle as best you can. Oh, hold on, we got a package today. Key lock good enough to just add an amp to a Subaru with HK system. Yeah, you could do that. Tap off the subwoofer. I would totally do that. Running Focal K2 3-way bi-amp and front door K2 coaxes, powered by D6. Recommendations please for an amp with more power. Why would you want more power? Remember, that's a 2 ohm speaker, so you're going to be getting like 240 watts to those mid bass. That's well within the range of power for those. But I mean, if you're looking for something bigger, gosh, I don't know. An audio control, it's like kind of the biggest bitch on the block when it comes. I mean, there are other amplifiers. I mean, you go sound digital, you know, you can get a 1200 by 4, but I mean, you're talking 2 ohm. With those, you're gonna get a ton of power out of that.
I mean, you put like what, the 400 by 2 in each mid bass, and I mean it's just.
I mean, if you want it louder, man, more speakers. I don't know if those things can take any more power. This is an A4. No, this is a WRX, Subaru WRX. Guys, thanks for everything. I found. Tacoma with plug and play, kicker speakers, a key 400 and mids and highs, and a hideaway 8 sub, wired all aluminum. Perfect. Finally, something other than an F-150. I know, right? Jesus. No problem. Alright, let's see what we got here. What is the stuff you use for making your own grommets? So we don't actually make our own grommets. What it is a two-part system, as it were. We just use... let me find a big one so it's easy to see. We just use one of these, standard style snap-in grommets like this that clicks into place. And then for the waterproofing side of it, we use this stuff here, which is, it's called 3M Strip Caulk Black, part number 08578. And it comes in a box like this. And you just peel it off. It's a sticky, gooey, disgusting product that is like it's kind of like the butyl you're putting on for sound treatment, just it's more sticky. And the thing is when it's down there and this, you push it in as best that you can, and it's sticky. It'll stick to your fingers, sticks to everything. But the nice thing is as it gets old, it stays sticky, never dries out. So even as that wire moves, it's sticking and it bends, and it's unlike silicone that if you've seen silicone will dry up, or even a gasket will dry up. This stuff will stay sticky for years and years and years. I mean, I've seen cars that I've done 10, 15 years ago, and that stuff is still gooey as hell, and it's almost worse, but as far as how gooey it gets. But it stays put and keeps the water out. So that's really the most important thing. I wish out more on my door panel and not all on the door. Yes. Kicker key lock good enough to add just sub. Yeah, okay, answered that. All right, what was that? All right, let's scroll down here. Thanks for all the good. Okay, all right. DSR1 in universal mode using DGM3 T-harness. Sends static on the left front door. Are you sure it's the left front door? Have you tried flipping into the RCAs around, doing anything like that? Always check, and move speaker wires, and because we've not experienced that, but that is not to say that you have not. There's a chance that you could have. But moving things around, trying test speakers, it's all part of the fun of it. Sometimes stuff just doesn't go as planned, and you have to take action to do that. Now, with that being said, we got a package today. Now, I know I said I was going to show the Nick Apicilla sound treatment today, but like a goofball, I left it at home. I know. And even Sue told me, goes, why don't you go put it in your car right now? And I said, nah, I'll get it in the morning. So we'll look at that tomorrow, but we got another package in today.
Shame on you, dude. Shame on you.
I feel terrible. All right, let's go around here and see what we got. So this is going to be something we're going to be doing in Fernando's car in the lab. This is a lab project we have. Let's just show them what it is. This isn't even the exciting part. I mean, this is pretty exciting.
Woo!
So we got a Ground Zero GZ UA Uranium 6200 SQ Plus. So this, okay, let's just for a minute marvel at, hey, what's up, Iowa? Marvel at how this comes shipped. All right, so we get cardboard, we get an instruction manual. Can you get it? All right, let me move this out of the way. Okay.
It comes with brackets.
Oh yeah, so this little apple pie container is for the mounting brackets for the amplifier, but it comes in, look at it. All right, so it comes in like a pillow, like a pillowcase, like a cool couch pillowcase. And you open that thing up. We're gonna do a full review on this, so we just want to show it to you today and let you guys take a look at this. So this is the Ground Zero, this is the GZ, this is the uranium. Okay, it's freaking gigantic. I mean, it really is. I don't have a phone to compare it to. Grab the tape measure right there. It's right underneath the stuff you just set down on your left. Right there, perfect. Let's see how long this thing is. So we're looking at almost 22 inches of amplifier. This ain't going underneath the front seat, I can tell you that right now. Yeah.
It's by 8 1/4.
Yeah.
With wires like 9 and everything.
It's pretty special.
This is like 1 3/4.
Yeah, either way, that's a big boy. So it's a 6-channel, and what it's gonna do is we have a set of the new Uranium Series 6.5. So if you guys caught the show, this is gonna be the GZ UK 1655Q.
165 SQ. That's it.
Did I miss an S?
Yeah,
There's
no,
an S.
you actually add a 5.
Did I add a 5?
Yeah.
I thought there was 2 5s because
No,
it looks like a 5. I'm reading it through my phone. All right, so 55 SQ. Okay, good call.
That's it.
Reusable fleece material for fiberglassing. I know, right? Yes. Good idea. So if you guys caught the Tommy Spears show we did the other day where we had him on, these are the ones he brought with him to show us. We're gonna put these in Fernando's car, and I know what you're saying, we just put speakers in Fernando's car. It's okay, it's a lab. The whole idea is to try new things, so we're gonna try new things.
Try not to rip the bag.
You can rip the bag, we get to keep these.
No, still. I'm gonna do a full review on this.
Oh yeah, it's a good call. Well, we have 2 bags. Hold the grill, get that thing out. There you go.
That.
All right, so here we go. Computer rubber surround. Oh, big ass voice coil. Oh, I love big ass voice coils. Neo magnet, cast aluminum basket. Whew, man. Oh, look at those terminals. Screw down terminals. Oh, that is so cool. I love that. You don't have to solder. Ah, yay.
We have the
Dude,
GZ.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is heavy. This is really freaking heavy. Most of the time you grab these speakers and they're like super light because they're made out of like aluminum and light materials. But damn, that beast is not okay. So the tweeters are the GZ UT 28SQ. I got it right that time.
You got it right. Wow, congratulations.
Whoa. We've been waiting for these to come in as a standalone tweeter because these tweeters are those tweeters. This tweeter actually came out last year. It was the new uranium tweeter, and basically they were using the 25th anniversary set as kind of like a beta test to see how people like these and make sure this was going to be the new uranium tweeter. And of course, everyone loved the way those sounded. And this is just a giant soft dome tweeter, which there again, you guys love that sound. So this is going to go into the front stage of Fernando's car in the lab. We'll put this down in the bottom, mid bass, and the door. Tweeter up in the dash. I gotta figure out how to make new pods for these to get those guys to go up there. And then for a sub, we're doing a uranium GZUW10SQX. We'll do this in a porta box, of course, because, hey, we like fat bass. Tommy who, right?
Look at that.
We're gonna need every bit of power that comes off of this thing for that bad boy. Okay, here's what I like. This, obviously there's a lot of things that I like, but what I really like about these is the black on black. Okay, so I love black on black because it's at first you just look at it and go, normal speaker, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, no, there's a logo there, but it's just not like smacking you in the face. Because this is a line that you don't want to smack you in the face with an ugly logo. Look at that. That's a beast.
I like the screws.
Oh yeah, so you can do like ferrules up into the subwoofer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Look at that.
See, I almost wish this was like incorporated into
The basket,
this.
like this one.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's the same thing.
It's the same, but I'm just saying, it almost like it'd be cool if they had like a copper stripe around or something.
Yeah.
Useless money spent on bad things. So we're not designers because
No.
we would waste a lot of money going. Could you just put like a copper band right through here and across there, and that would look really neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at that. Okay, see a big magnet, vented voice coil. I love it when they finish it with something, so it's just not a hole in the bottom of the woofer.
Yes.
I know a lot of companies do that, but you know, I still like it. Yeah, so
10.
that's a 10. All right, what's the power on this? Can we grab that spec real quick? I think it's over here. I think I moved it over here, so let me get out of the way. Will that fit in a Fox box? Probably, maybe. I think it would. I think, depending on the Fox box. So, I mean, if you're talking like a Ram, probably will fit. I don't see why not, because a P3 fits just fine.
All right, so
here's how we're going to be running this thing.
Start from the feature 6-channel, full range.
AB class, so that'll make everyone happy. 2-ohm stable, 4-ohm bridge, which is a standard because it's 6 channels, so there's no like mono channel. Low pass filters, high pass filters, band pass filters. We need that, right? Temperature sensing controlled cooling fans. Oh, cool. Power, because this is really what you guys all want to see. 110 by 4 plus 2 by 160 RMS. I wonder if we should run. All right, I know, we'll figure it out. At 4 ohm. And then we got the 2 ohm rating, which
that's a 2 ohm rating.
We don't need that. But then we have 2 by 380
plus.
Okay, so the bridge rating. All right, so really what we're looking at is we're going to do 110 by 4 and 640 by 1.
Correct. Yeah, this is the 2 ohm rating.
Yeah. Or we switch them, but we're not going to because we want that. We need some power for that woofer. That's a beast. And then here's your size wise that Fernando already gave us. Input density 1 to 6 volts. 20 to 400.
So this has
200 to 4,000. So there's all right.
So that's a 4-gauge wire.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's 120 amps current draw.
Yes. 4-gauge wire.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like a 1,200 watt amp. 1,200 watts, roughly about 1,200 watts. And then you can't
14.
So right away with my blind ass eyes, I'm not a fan of color on color. Like I like this look black on black because it's just enough contrast. But when I actually got to see some stuff, this is the kind of stuff that it's like I got to take my glasses off.
Well, you're old.
I am old. I got to do this to see this stuff.
No. Like, dude, this is perfect. I like it.
Well, as long as Fernando likes it, I guess that's really all that matters. Because he's the young guy that's going to, like hip to the game and whatnot. So, high pass, low pass. We got band pass here, band pass here. We got a 10-time multiplier switch right there. We got a 10-time multiplier switch right there. Now, when I say 10-time multiplier, if you caught the active bi-amped video we did the other day when we talked about bi-amping a speaker, and one of the reasons why you have to go bi-amped off of a 4-channel amp, and that is because the tweeter, or channels 1 and 2 that you'd run on your tweeters, 3 or 4, it doesn't matter, the crossover doesn't go up high enough. Typically, crossovers dump out somewhere between, let's say, 2 to 300 hertz. Sometimes they go as high as 500 hertz. A 10 times multiplier switch is just that. So if you have your crossover set to 80 hertz, that's going to be 800 hertz. If you have it set, you understand what I'm saying? So 100 is 1,000. And then 200 is 2,000. So that's what the 10 time does. It allows you to run those tweeters off of the amplifier. Look under it.
Bias settings.
Oh.
5 and 6, 3 and 4, 1 and 2.
We'll have to get deep into that and figure out all the fun and excitement that we have to deal with.
I remember.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got, these are, look at that. Oh, yeah, it's all capacitors. Was it built upside down? Yeah, it is built upside down. Heat sink on the top. Okay. That makes sense. Why? Well, it's not, okay. I don't know why I said built upside down, because should we pull the top now, or should we just wait and save it for the video?
Oh, man, I want to.
You want to pop the top now, don't you?
Yeah, but that would be cool if you guys wait until the video.
Okay, we'll make them.
I'm so bad.
Oh, you are terrible. Adjust AB bias. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta save something for the video. You know,
Yes,
we'll go all about it and talk and explain it and show how it's used and all that fun stuff, because that's what we do, right?
That's right. So
Make it. So this is gonna be a nice, simple car stereo lab video that we'll do. We'll talk all about it. It's probably gonna be a multi-part video, obviously, because
talk about this, then talk about this, then talk about this, and
so we got
talking and more.
We have a Sajeki box that we're gonna hopefully put that in.
Yeah.
And everyone's going, a Sajeki box? What is a Sajeki box? Yeah.
Can you give me a number of Sajeki so he can build me a box? Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. All right, so that's what we have coming up. This was cool. We'll obviously spend more time on this as time goes on.
Yep.
The WRX we have you guys updated on.
He's done.
That's it for now. Actually, we got to get back to work. We're pushing the clock here. I got to get this all plugged in. We got to start tuning it now, because Fernando, while we were talking, Fernando finished the fuse holder.
Yeah.
So there we go. It's all sexy. And what I mean by coming off is if you just click this like this, this will just pop off.
Like you remove this and you can replace
snap it back into place.
Awesome.
Go Stinger, go. In case some of you guys don't recognize, this is Clone Wars font. So it's stuff from Star Wars. It's pretty cool. Looks good and everything. It's it's like salt and pepper. Just tastes good on everything. You're mental.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been 5 Minutes with 5 Star. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hi, Fernando.
Hey, Nate.
How you doing?
Oh, what better than put fast rings and roadkill and
Living the Vida Loca, as usual.
always.
How's it going today, everyone? We are working on a Kia Stormtrooper. We'll just call it that.
Okay.
And I only say that because if you come up here and you... I don't know why that's pink. I'm assuming at some point it may have been black, but it's faded. Got to replace that. Weird. Okay, Kia Soul. Fernando is finishing up the doors. You guys often ask, you know, it's kind of funny. You guys never get bored with the whole checking out the roadkill thing. These door panels are a joy and a pleasure to get off. See this right here? Point to that, Fernando, the little rubber grommet.
This one?
Nope, the other one.
This one?
Nope. The one that we actually... There you go. So that grommet right there, you pull that off, you roll this window down, and you have someone sit there and wait, and there'll be a 10mm bolt that will appear right there.
Yeah.
Pull that bolt, pull the window back up into this area here, and then you want to pick yourself up a set of these guys. These are cool little suction cups on either end. You get the idea. And you drape them over the top here, and that'll hold your window up in place. Then you have to pull each one of these 10mm off.
Yeah.
Pull the grommets, unattach the wire.
This.
The door will come up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a clip over here that's weird. It's kind of round keyhole style clip. You lift it up and that'll come loose. And then this whole area right here is a plastic slide-on piece.
Yeah.
And you have to, he's holding that flathead, you have to kind of like wiggle it a little bit, and then the door panel will come off this way. These little rubber booties will tuck back into the hole. You could take all this apart if you want to. You really don't need to. You just need to get this thing off and it'll sit over here. There's also a plug for the door lock there. You pull that. Once you pull that, then it'll come down. You can come out of this hole, and then you can go back through this hole here, and then you unclip this, and it'll all just go through this one little hole. So it's a major ordeal, but what you end up with is, as opposed to, right? I know. And considering we're putting in a set of Focal flax, I'd say it's probably worth it. The shiny black area that you're seeing here is the more roadkill that he's put in. How many sheets have you used so far?
On this one is 1.5.
So the extra half sheet is going to go onto the door panel itself. So we'll get that area there all murdered, as it were. And what I'm doing is, this is the factory tweeter here, this ugly little microscopic thing, and this is the factory mount for the tweeter. Now, I've already put it over on the router because this black area here was bigger than this silver area. So I blue taped it up, and then I took it over here to our router, which is right here, and widened out the hole to match this big black hole. And the reason why is because the tweeter would actually fit between the black hole and not the silver hole. Then what we've created is this guy right here. Ooh, that fits perfectly on my piece of scrap. We'll change this to cut, and we'll call this medium clear. And so this little piece here is what we're going to, this is the first shot, so this might not even fit. We don't even know yet. We're gonna give it a shot. Let's see how long this is gonna take to bake in the oven. I know, right? Hey, some blue horn. Hey guys, how's it going? Peru in the house. What's happening? Yep, just waiting, and I know this is the joy of a glow forge. All right, oh, it's almost done. All right, it resets. Make sure it's still on the piece. Oh, 32 seconds. We can live with those. We'll press the little button here. Oh, we keep this piece of thing on it just in case something falls, and it would ruin my day for sure. So that'll kick over there. Fernando is getting ready to put some of the sound treatment on this. Let's head over into the car. So we're keeping the factory radio on this one, which, you know, whatever works for you. But what we've done, they don't make a T-harness for this, and we didn't have the 70 and the 71 combo. So what we've done is we've soldered in our own wiring to match the factory wiring. So we have an input and an output here. And the reason why I like to get it out from behind the radio is because it's tight. It's really tight in the dash. There's plenty of room over here and behind the glove box. So we solder up the same color wiring, and then we just add black and white. So for example, the factory color is tan and white, green and orange, and then we come back and I add in this, this is telling me this is the speaker here, white is going to be that speaker there, green will be back here, and purple will be behind me, and then gray is, this is the speaker output. So these are the wires that run off to these speakers, and then this is the signal coming from the radio. And the reason why it's already pre-cut is because we were doing some testing on it to see what the factory EQ curve looked like. And then we've also added on black and red solder. So shrink wrap, so that we know what color is positive and what color is negative. And how we tested those is with the PT9A Plus, played our songs, play the polarity check through here, and then we saw all our cool little stuff. If you guys want that killer tool, of course you can get it at Mobile Solutions, mobilesolutions-usa.com. Pick that up in a nice wire ruler, and then you can do awesome work. Now let's open this guy up. We'll get our Easy Bake Oven here. Now, I don't know if this is gonna fit or not, but we will see. This is, there again, the first go around. Ooh, all right. So the idea was to try to have it match up. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's the basic shape that I was going for. Let's see if the tweeter fits. It's always so hard. I hate the fact that these come with these like 10-inch wires, and then I always wait to cut them until the very end, which is hilarious. Hold on, sorry. Because we only need like 6 inches of wire here. Alright, this is hard to do and hold. Alright, hang on. Set that right there. Alright, so that gets us, this gets us kind of started. This is more of a proof of concept. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move it so that the tweeter will actually come up from underneath, because this is going to stick up too far into the dash. See how high that is? So I'll make it, we'll add in some screw points into these corners, and we'll mount this tweeter from underneath, and then we'll lock it in place. What's cool about a Focal tweeter, as far as building these cool mounts, let me get this grill off here, sorry, is if you'll notice, see how it has that little lip right there? That's almost nothing. That is perfect for a laser, because we can use that to make our top and bottom mounts. Let's put the grill back on. Always leave the grill on until you're ready for it to be off. But that allows us to make 2 scissor mounts, and so we can make a bottom plate and a top plate and screw it together. And what that'll be is the bottom plate will go underneath this. It won't have these little arms on it. So that's a first draft on that. That's pretty cool. I have an idea. These are the tweeters that go right up here and are, you know, hey, look at me, I'm a tweeter. So those are the flax tweeters. There'll be a Focal flax mid base in there next. We just want to do the rear doors first. The other thing is that we're going to mount both of the amplifiers underneath this passenger seat over here. Which I think I have the amplifiers. I haven't gotten that far yet. First trick was figuring out the radial and getting that, and then move on to the tweeter. We'll add some Focal things to the doors, but we're doing the D 4.800, the LC 1.800, so 2 800s, and then so these are gonna sit underneath the seat like this. But there's like, it's like the last car we did. I don't know what this is. These last 2 cars have had so much under seat room. I could stack these and still have 2 inches on top. I don't want to stack these because these get way hotter than the Primas. They don't get super hot, but they get hotter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a bracket that comes off of these, dips down about 1 inch, and then goes forward, because there's a air vent right there, and I want it to go over the top of the air vent. These will sit on top of it. Then our Focal flax passive crossovers can mount. This area here is actually a lower dip. We'll put our 2 Focal flax crossovers underneath the amplifiers here, so that this will all be, it'll be one big piece that I can just bring in, go into the factory screw point, set in, and run our wires, go signal and everything up the center console. Power wire and everything is going to go up into this area here. And if you remove the glove box, look at that. That's a grommet. There's also tons of room here. So for this, we're actually going to run dual 4-gauge. We're actually going to run 3 4-gauge because he needs another 4-gauge for something else that's whatever. But as you can see, that area there's all kinds of room down there, as well as the grommet. So we're going to bring our 3 power wires up through here across, and then instead of going 3 big fuse holders, we're going to make a mount for this guy. Even though it's a 4, that actually works out perfect, because where we need to mount this, there's this thing in the way of the 4th one. So that'll be perfect. That'll work like a champ. And that way we don't have to run either like a big 0-gauge fuse holder and a small 4-gauge fuse holder, or 3 4-gauge fuses. This will do the trick. So we'll make a nice mount that goes across the front there and holds that in place. Put some logos on it and do all that neat stuff. So that's pretty cool. That'll make that nice and clean and simple, and that's really what we need. Fernando, of course, is still working the door panel over here. He's getting all the complex corners and fun and excitement all sound treated up so that this doesn't buzz. All right, so have I covered everything? I think so.
Cover the speaker.
Yeah, you gotta cover the speaker. Yeah, so that's it. That's what we got going on today. We finished the WRX this morning. It turned out really, really nice. It actually turned out really good with, dude, it sounded incredible.
I really like that one.
I liked it too. I was impressed. And there again, the all-pass filter was not an issue for us. We did some tricks, as it were, to get it to do what we needed to do, and we got in the car, and it staged amazing, like silly. Like the owner of the car actually has another system that we've done. He did the full Audison and the Raptor. Jesus. So this was their son's car. And of course, he wanted an Audison system for that. Obviously, we didn't go crazy, like we did in the F-150 Raptor. But so he knows what it's supposed to sound like. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Hey, what about that sound treatment from Nick? I got the sound treatment. I brought it to work with me this morning. However, it weighs like 1,000,000 pounds, as Sue complained it did. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it, and I don't think it's pretty exciting stuff. So I thought it would make more sense for us to wait till Monday on the Nick stuff. That way we can do a proper justice on the Facebook page, at the 40-minute mark, with cool stuff with Dean and Fernando. We need to make an intro for that. And we'll talk about it then. That way I can pull up the website. I can do all that. I can give contact information if you guys want to get some, instead of us just like, hey, here's some cool stuff. So we'll wait for that on Monday, and we'll talk about it more. What was the staggered power on the Subaru? It was the Forza F 8.9, and I believe it was 80 watts which we talked about on the Monday show. That was the cool stuff on Monday. It was like 80 watts for the tweeters, 260 watts from the mid-bass, 80 watts for the rear, and then we did the F1D, which is the 1,000-watt sub-amp, which is the exact same size. They stacked on top of one another. So if you didn't get to see it, Fernando will post some pictures probably later this week, and or Monday's Facebook, which you can watch the rebroadcast on that's up right now. And at the 40-minute mark, we bring both of the amps out. We kind of go over and talk about it so that you can get an idea. Fernando, did you ever get a chance to listen to the Embrace? Thoughts on it? The song? The Embrace, that one song? The Embrace. Do you need me to take a screenshot?
The Embrace. No, I haven't.
You
Just
suck.
take a screenshot.
I'm going to take a screenshot.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll make sure he gets on that one. We'll probably listen to it when we're done with this car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll give us something to look forward to. What's the farthest someone has driven to have some work on their car? I don't know. Iowa? I don't know. I don't know. Michigan. Supposedly we got somebody coming from California in a couple weeks.
So.
I don't know. New York's. I don't really. I should. It'd be one of those things I should probably keep track of, but I don't. How are Memphis M7 subs, and what amp should I run? I don't know enough about the M7 subs. I'm sorry. We do have one of their cool 6.5 sitting up here on the shelf somewhere. The little Memphis sub is still up there.
Right?
Yeah, it's up there. They gave it to us at Knowledge Fest last year.
I was so excited, man.
I want to get a box built for it, but it just keeps getting kicked to the curb like everything else that we got going on.
Thanks more. Yeah.
Hi, I get feedback from my Tempo Ultra tweeter at only certain frequencies. Is it blown? Is passive off a D4.8? Is the passive crossover blown too? There again, it depends what you're feeding it. What is feeding the tweeter? Also, have you tried, is it both tweeters or is it just one tweeter? If it's both tweeters, chances are good it's some form of a signal issue, not necessarily a tweeter. You could have, there could be something that you're feeding it that's bad. If it's just one tweeter, try switching left and right and see what happens there. Also, look at the RTA, the input RTA, and see what that looks like on the software. Which is actually better, Focal or Illusion? What about the Raven subs? That's like a big question. They're two totally different animals. Focal is French made. The Illusions are made in India. Two totally different companies. They don't share anything other than Orca is the company here that is responsible for them. I believe Orca owns the Illusion as well as distributed it. Raven is they're again owned by them, and it's hard to
say. Amazing.
It's just really neat stuff, but the Raven is more meant for custom home audio. You can use it in a car, like Matty used 3 10s in the Escalade that he built.
That was awesome.
That were, yeah, I mean, they're super expensive. Nick, I think, had a Raven sub in his pickup truck. I think they're only 8 ohm though. I think you can only get them 8 ohm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. But they're two totally different animals. I mean, that's the nice thing about it. I mean, there's so many different types of stuff out there. You just basically want to own it all, right? You're going to want to listen to it. It's crazy. Yes. Oh, we will. Texas, what's up? The interior speakers have decent bass. Okay. How to run DVC 2 ohm subs and 2 ohm load with mono? You can. If it's a dual voice coil 2 ohm woofer, it's either 4 ohm or it's 1 ohm. Now, if you're trying to get to a amp at 1 ohm, I'm sorry. If you're trying to get 2 DVC 2 ohm subs to get you to a 2 ohm load on a 2-terminal or 4-terminal amplifier, remember 4 terminals. We did a whole video on this. If you haven't seen it, it's like it explains the whole thing. If on the side of the amplifier, if there's 2 positives and 2 negatives, they're internally bridged. All right, so they connect. If you take your digital multimeter, you go to this positive, you go to that positive, it goes beep because it's one piece of product. The positives are one piece, the negatives are one piece. It's not a 4-channel or a 2-channel amplifier. It's a mono amplifier. They've just put 4 terminals on it to make your life a little bit easier so that you don't have to do all this wiring outside of the amplifier. Now, if you have a dual 2 and a dual 2 and you're trying to get to a 2 ohm load at the amplifier with both of those subwoofers, when you need to do the series parallel thing. So all you're going to do is you're going to take one of the positives, one of the negatives coming off of the amplifier and connect it to one of the positives and negatives on the speaker. Just make sure it's the opposite side. So a positive on the left, a negative on the right. Then you're going to take a jumper with the positive and negatives that are left, and you're going to loop it around those. And that's going to make that a 4 ohm woofer. You're going to do the same thing the other one. So you have a 4 ohm and a 4 ohm. When you connect it to those 4 terminals on the side of the amplifier, it will do the next step for you, and you will see the amplifier will see it as a 2 ohm load. That's all you got to do. People get confused about this all the time. Yeah, I don't even, we did the video like 3 years ago. I don't even remember what it's up. Michigan and Texas. Yeah, both. D4.800, advantage and disadvantage of running high level input versus low level input, Alpine, ILX. The disadvantage would be that the amplified output of the 207 is going to die faster, meaning you're not going to get the range of volume that you would if you use the preamp section. So basically what that means is you're going to overload the input, or the factory amplifier in the 207 is going to distort way before the preamp section does. So the preamp section is made to be turned up almost all the way. I can't remember if it was like 1 or 2 before full max volume, which means you have a lot more range on the amplifier. And whereas if you go with the amplified output, you're only going to get about not even 2/3 of the way up, maybe half the way up, and then it's going to start to distort, and you're going to be trying to amplify it. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of doing that. I've been following 5-star 2015 Texas is the furthest so far. Okay. Did I need a kicker key? I don't know. What is the AR stuff that you talk about with those new kits for the Mustang? AR is like Amp Pro. So basically what you have is, all right, so this is actually, so when you're talking about a premium sound system in a car, amplified, I mean, there's some form of external amplifier, be it Beats by Dre, Bang & Olufsen, whatever it is, okay, whichever premium audio you have, which doesn't necessarily mean it has to be premium audio. You need a way to interface with it. There's a couple companies that make an interface, and the whole idea is to get some form of a preamp output that will then go to your subwoofer. But there's more to it in the fact that you have backup sensors, you have Bluetooth, you have navigation, you have front-facing sensors, you have lane departure warnings, you have all this stuff that is coming through your factory audio system. So you need to make sure that it all goes to the corresponding speaker, and if you've done equalization and time alignment, that it all works. Meaning, you don't want like backup sensors to sound funny, right? That would be weird. So these products work with that. So if you look at like an Amp Pro, it does that, and it has 6 channels of output, and it reroutes that. The Zen products from Nav TV does the same thing. It reroutes the signals to those corresponding products. The AR is another piece of product that does the same thing. So what you're seeing here is the Kenwood system that comes with the AR. So you buy this amp, it comes with the interface, and then you come over here and you buy the corresponding harness for your car, and then you can plug it in and it will direct the sound where it needs to go, and you can do everything you want with it. That particular amp has 4 channels of preamp output along with 6 channels of amplifier DSP. Really popular way to do it is just getting the Rockford DSR1. This is a combination that iData and Rockford teamed up together to make this product. This allows you to use any one of these AR harnesses, plug it into here, because AR is actually built into here. So what this has is built into it along with the DSP. This will give you 8 channels of RC outputs. Now on the Mustang, what you have is the AR, the AFO2 harness, which stands for amplified. And then from there, you can go to anything. So I can go DSR1, AFO2, and that'll be it. I'll get 8 channels of RC output with this. Or I can go AR, AFO2, and then from there, I can do like the Kenwood amplifier if I wanted to. Or I could do the ARC amplifier if I wanted to. Soon, which I have the pre-release of it, you could do the DM810 or the DM608 or the D4800 or the D61200. So all the audio control stuff is minutes away from them releasing the harness, so that you could do that. And then you could do any one of the, you could do the Bitnove, you could do the Forza, you could do the Prima. Any one of those will plug directly into that and give us all the stuff we need to interface with that factory radio. Now some in the future, you'll notice here, like this says D and not A. A stands for amplifier replacement, D stands for digital replacement. What the DFO2 does is if you have a Ford that does not have the Sony or the BO system, this can then plug in, and the AR will allow you to reprogram that factory radio so that you get variable voltage 4-volt output with no ANC. So it sounds fabulous. It gives you a preamp section. Go out of this into that, or you go out of this. Actually, with this combination, there's another product that's going to be here any minute now that is the RCA1, and that'll allow you to go to anybody's DSP. Anybody's, it doesn't matter. You just need this to reprogram the radio, this to get you all your speaker wires, and then there'll be the RCA1 that'll allow you to plug in and get all your RC outputs. So that'll be really cool. The DGM3 is designed to work with the AR or the DSR1 or any one of the other products, and what it's designed to do is control the chime. So the biggest problem with GM is it keeps the signal the same, so it doesn't do anything to the signal. You still have whatever factory EQ problems you have, but it will control the door chime for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Nissan, Toyota, these are just there to deal with, just to give you a T-harness so that you can add in the DSR1 too. Volkswagen, that's new. Honestly, I don't remember what that does. I know, right? And then Chrysler is designed to reprogram the radio the same way that it does for the Ford. What's coming for Volkswagen is the fender system, and we'll get the interface for that. I think there might be a Suzuki coming too. I don't remember. We talked about it a couple weeks back, so we're just waiting for those new products to come. Define feedback and tweeter. Oh yeah, no kidding, right? Dean, how's the home audio control treating you? So far, so good. The only thing I was able to do is get it plugged in, and I haven't had time to tune it yet. So they come to the microphone so you can do an auto tune and all that other fun stuff. I haven't had time to do any of that yet. It's merely just get it in, turn it on. My plan is to deal with that this weekend. Or I could not do videos, and I could do it when I get home tonight. Yeah, okay, we know the answer to that question. For the same setup, if you use a Pioneer amp versus a Rockford Punch amp, what difference will give in terms of sound quality? Fernando, Pioneer amp versus Rockford Punch amp, which one would you go with?
I will go with the Punch amplifier.
the punch amplifier. Sound quality, way better, a lot more features. I would definitely go with the punch amp. I don't even really think that's a fair comparison on the two. All right, waiting for the XDSP Honda in Canada as a premium. I know, right? Will I run any issues with the all pass filter factory? If you're going full active, you're going to have a way better chance of not having issues with the all pass filters. Okay, the key is full active when you're dealing with factory all pass. All right, if you have a full active system where you're going to put an amp on the tweeters, amp on the mid, you're not trying to sum, you're not trying to do any of that stuff, you're fine. You just hook it up and go. It's got those all pass filters in it. It's going to allow you, it's going to align and do what it needs to do. You just add your EQ to it. It's when you're trying to go to a 4-channel amp from, the factory 4 channels of output and you're trying to sum them together, that's where you run into the problem. So, I mean, you can just put it in there, just go active, and you'll be fine. Dean, what's your preference on satellite subsystems with good hertz components? A separate amp going to the components with a mono block going to a single sub, or say 3-channel JL running 75 too? I'm a big fan of 5-channel amplifiers. So if I'm just doing a single sub or 2 small subs, I'm going to go 5-channel because I feel 5-channel is to me, from a retail standpoint, it's a cheaper install for you because you're not paying us for double the amount of hardware, meaning power and RCA, still the same amount of RCAs, but I don't have to sell you 2 big power wires, 2 big fuse holders. It saves time because I don't have to mount 2 amplifiers and figure out where they're going, like one going on with one seat, one going on the other seat, distribution blocks, all those things. So I'm a big fan of 5 channels. I love 5 channels. I love installing 5 channels. However, you don't always get the opportunity to do that because you might need some power. So like in this, we're doing the D 4.800, the LC 1.800. That's one of my favorite combination 5 channels. So if we need power, I'm doing something like that. I'm going 4-channel monoblock, matching, of course, because they have to match. But yeah, it's whatever works. I was asking, in the Soul need kicker key? No, it won't. It won't need a kicker key for what we're trying to do with it. He's like, I don't need all this fancy surround sound stuff that you guys talk about with the center and the dash. He goes, I'm old school, bro. I just want this thing to just sound good and be loud. And so, yeah, we're all good. I can tell you, though, kicker key, yeah. If you're going to try to do time alignment, key lock. If you're going to try to do time alignment and all that stuff, then, yeah, you probably want it. Yeah. So that'd be the key lock, not the kicker key. What do you guys think about Scar Audio RP amp series? Yeah, they're amps. They're affordable. They're nice. I'm personally, this is my stance on that amp, and all the amplifiers for that matter that are in that same category. They will all do 1 ohm. The reality is they really don't need to be doing 1 ohm. So if you're gonna buy like a 1500 and run it at 1 ohm, I would suggest personally buy a 2000 and run it at 2 ohm. So you don't tax the amplifier as hard. That's just me. You can do whatever you want. I don't really care. If you're out there going, oh man, that's for stupid. I got power that I'm wasting. Whatever. Do what you want. Would you consider the Audison amps for your Mustang Lab now? We're gonna put everything we possibly get our hands on in the Mustang. So the Mustang is gonna be a lab. That's why I bought it. Was because it's a good lab to do a lot of different things in. So we bought it for the versatility, not just because it just, we bought it for the versatility. It was always made to be a lab. So it's not like it's not going to be doing that. Air coming for new Accord Premium. Not yet. Not soon enough to where we can talk about it. 75 to components and 300 to sub. Yeah. 75 to components, 300 to sub. There again, as long as you get something that can give you power with 75 watts, like don't get something that has like an 89 efficiency on the mid-range, get something that has like a 93, 94, somewhere in that range, and then 75 watts will make those things just get up and dance and sound really, really good, and you'll be super happy. On the Subaru, do you put protection on the active tweeters? You could run 2 condoms if you want, but no, why?
Protection? What kind of...
I mean, what kind of protection do I need? It's 3000 at 24 dB.
It's the DSP, it's the protection.
I mean, what's a cap gonna do? Nothing. Set it up right, and you won't have to worry about it. I don't. I mean, if the amplifier fails, the last thing I'm worried about is the tweeters. It's going to do way more damage to everything else in the car, and that's how. I mean, if the $1,000 amplifier takes a crap, you think I really care about $150 tweeters? I mean, there's gonna be tears no matter what. So, as far as protecting it with a 6 dB cap, what is that gonna do? Nothing. Set it up properly. Don't worry about it. It's the Kenwood Excellent. Ooh, I love that amplifier. Dude. 802.5 is one of my favorite amplifiers. 5-channel, love it all day long. It works great on a ton of things. If you're gonna put the Kenwood Excellent speakers on it, you're gonna be super happy. It's awesome. It's awesome amplifier. Have you guys done work on a 2020 VW Jetta amp integration No, we have not. Not yet. Is it good idea for coaxials in the front door and an extra tweeter on the dash? Is it a good idea? Depends. Technically, the answer is whatever you want it to be, in the sense that if you're going for let's say you got big bass in the back, it's just big bass, just banging, and you're trying to compete with that big bass up front, then yes, putting a coaxial in the bottom of the door and a tweeter up in the dash so you can get more sound up front, definitely. Nothing wrong with that. However, if you have a small sub in the back and you're actually trying to DSP and do the whole foo-foo-y time alignment thing and make everything oh, hey, bad idea. Bad idea, because that tweeter is just going to draw your attention away. It's going to pull the soundstage down. But that's it. So it depends on what you're trying to do and whether that's a good or bad idea. I can tell you, I in my career have put more tweeters and coaxials in cars. Rockford used to make them. They used to make a speaker that came with 2 tweeters. So you could run either 2 tweeters up in the dash, a tweeter in the dash, a coaxial in the bottom of the door. It was all kinds of fun and excitement. But yeah, go for it. Yes, it is super underrated. All right, let's see what we got here. How much power was the Audison pair of amplifiers putting out? So it's a 1,000-watt monoblock, whatever that means, and then so 85 by 4 is the max power on the Forza. Yeah, so at 2 ohms, it's 150. So it was 85 by 4 and 260 by 2 is what their rated power is on it for what we were doing. So take that as you will. It was a ton of bass, I can tell you that right now. Should I get a Crux or iData for 2004 RAV4 non-premium sound to keep? I'm not a Crux fan, so I mean, anytime I do a Toyota, any Toyota gets an iData harness or nothing, because it's all a headache. Their shit works. Would you guys want to do a system in a C8 Corvette? Right now? Probably not. Maybe in a year or two, yeah. I don't necessarily feel like I need to be the first to tear into something. Ada has one up at Absolute Electronics. He bought the car and he's having a good time with it, so I'll wait and see what he does. Do you guys have an OnlyFans? No, not that I know of. I don't know. All right, listen, guys, we gotta call it there. I gotta get back to work on this car. I don't want to let Fernando steal the show here and be like, dude, I did all the work, bro. Plus, I gotta head over to Laser, finish the tweeter mounts. So with that,
always do the work.
You always do all the work. I'm just here for holding the phone and moral support, and just be like, don't do that, do this. All right, guys, you have a wonderful rest of your day. This has been 5 Minutes of 5-Star. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That's why I have a lot of problems.
You didn't bounce?
Nope. I was tray on the floor. Done.
Boom, done. Yeah.
That's it. Boom.
Yeah. I understand. I had the same thing happen.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Today is Thursday. Whatever that means for you and your world. What it means for us is that we still have Friday and Saturday, so it's nothing to get too excited about. Although tonight, if you tune into Mr. Hi-Fi Vegas channel over there on YouTube, you get to hear us do our show. which, you know, is kind of car audio centric, but we talk about cool stuff. So it's a really fun show to do. I enjoyed it a lot. What we're looking at here is Fernando putting on some sound treatment on this Kia Soul that we're working on. This, you're like, wait a minute, why is it, yeah, it's so big. Well, to do it properly, you have to take the door apart. And if you come up here, you'll notice these two suction cups. These are tools that are specifically designed to do this. We didn't make these, we bought these, and they're designed to do exactly what you're seeing them do. Hold the window so that you can service the door panel inside of it. This is the skin here. This is the motor. It's really, a lot of cars are built this way now. It's really quite unique. The whole action is built into it. It does tend to suck just a little bit, but that's how the world is. So he's finishing up this side here. This is the last door, thankfully. He's getting it all good and done. And what's next to his head is this guy right here. Not a bug, relax. So this is the bass knob that we've designed for his. He has the Stormtrooper on the front of his car, and Fernando was like, he needs a Stormtrooper. So we added a Stormtrooper along with the audio control. It's flat black to match his panels. And if you look at the top corner and the bottom corner of this panel, you'll notice that round on the top and the round on the bottom is different. So we designed ours to match the same. Little details, just little details like that. And then we added some paint to it to make it pop. Made a couple different versions of it to see which one we like the most. So over here we have what we were playing with. So this is a high gloss version, which I personally liked. And this is the flat matte finish, which really didn't do it. So then we decided to take the same matte finish and we added some silver sem-dye to it, and that gave us that look that really just, you know, but I like this one. This is my favorite, but oh well, you know, sometimes you just go with what works. So that is that. There's his Stormtrooper. Still nothing underneath the hood yet. The tweeter that we talked about yesterday went into place. So that is the finished version of the tweeter. I ended up making it just a little bit longer, and then added a second piece to it, which I can show you over here. And then we added 4 screws to clamp it together. So this is the finished piece. As you can see, it's 2 pieces of acrylic. The bottom piece of acrylic has a 3D etch in it. There's a lip in the middle of the tweeter. So this sandwiches, these 2 pieces sandwich that lip. This is not part of it. This is just here to keep it safe until we're ready for it. But there we go, some little M2, these are little M2 nuts and bolts that hold it together. And you end up with this really tiny, cool tweeter mount. So that's just sitting here until we're ready for it. That's the last speaker that's gonna be going in. Oh, and then on the door panel, he really wanted some Focal logos, and Fernando was like, I think we should put them right in the middle of the speaker, because it didn't look, we put them all over the place, and it's like at the end of the day, the middle is what just really stood out and looked the best. So we went there with that. The amplifiers are getting ready to go underneath here, and they're coming along splendidly. So if we come over and check this out, so here are the amplifiers. You have the LC 4800. This is the mount, so these are going to go up onto, this is going to suspend it up underneath the seat, and then up underneath the amplifiers are where the passive crossovers are, with plenty of room. That's why it's sitting on top of these to hold it up. So then they feed up through this hole here and attach, and our rears are going to come out. They go over here, and then the tweeter and mid-range outputs are all in this bundle. So if you look at the speaker bundle here on the bottom side, as you can see, the wires come out. And so what you end up doing is you drill the holes for the top zip ties, and then the bottom wire from the crossover is using these same zip ties. So if you flip this up and you look at it on the bottom, you'll see they're all on the same zip tie. So they essentially run like an overpass over and above each other, and then that's it. That comes into play there. You notice the remote turn on. This is going to use GTO or signal sense on. but we always run a remote turn on just in case. This amp will be turning on this amp, so that's cool. Still got to set all the dip switches and whatnot on this. We're just finally getting it done. We made our RCAs to come out of the D into the LC to control the subwoofer. The last thing to go in is this subwire, which I was working on, but Fernando was like, I wanted to show you guys this door panel just so you could get an idea of how much work goes into sound treating, you know, these doors. This is a ton of work to get this in here. He's doing 3 pieces on this one, correct?
Two.
This is just 2.5. So this will be 2.5 sheets and this to get this one all done. And then he's got to still do the outside here, and then he's got to do the door panel here. And then I got to put my other logo, which is sitting right here. So this is the other. This has got to go on. Of course, here's the original. This was the first one we did, and I didn't like the way I didn't like this one. I didn't like the etch that it did. So we used this to kind of figure out where we wanted to put it and make sure everything looked right. And yeah, so you end up making a couple sometimes. Like this was from the Subaru the other day that we made. This was a test. And so, you know, I don't remember why we ended up, because I added some holes to make another mount to hold the tweeter in place. So this was just to make sure all the opening was correct, and then we made more pieces for it. So you end up with some stuff.
What size is your mount?
What size is my mount? Is 1/4 inch ABS.
There you go.
So it's 1/4 inch ABS. The wires are running down through the hole here. The power wires are going to go up underneath the seat rail. So there is the seat rail here. There's a hole here and a hole here, so it'll pass underneath and go through the seat rail, and then we'll ground it to the this area right here. We'll ground it to this as opposed to trying to ground it somewhere over here. This is really tight and really not a good idea. The speaker wires are going to come up through here, and then they're going to go up into the dash area where we can grab all our wiring that we already have waiting for it. The tweeter wires will run over to the same area. That one, like I said, that one isn't done yet, so we'll get to that one next. But this one is all set and ready to go. So yeah, that's what's going on. Looks like a Dodge Ram door. It is exactly like a Dodge Ram door. A lot of cars are starting to do that. Any way to integrate into Ford Sync 3 system, you have to know the specific car, make, and model. But yes, there's all kinds of ways to integrate into the Ford Sync. It just depends on the car. Do yourself a favor, head over to idatalink.com and type in your make, model, year, and what system you have, and that'll be a good place to start. Dean, how them Toyota Focal plug-and plays on stock amp? I don't think we've ever done them on a stock amp. Never. I don't think we've ever done plug-and plays on a stock amp. I mean, the idea is that, yes, you should be able to play them. They're a natural upgrade for them, but we've never done that. We've always used them as part of a bigger system. Any thoughts on the Kicker KS 6x9 components? Having a hard time finding Kenwood Exelons going into 4Runner. No, they're very nice. The KX speakers sound wonderful. So yeah, I'd make a great substitute for those. Are they shipping though? I didn't know if they were shipping yet. But yeah, they're out. Get them. Same basic principles, just made by somebody else. Will be a 2020 Ford Ranger Thunder with the Sync 3 system. There again, head over to iDataLink, type it in, and see if they list anything for your car. If they don't list anything for your car, then what you're going to need is some load resistors, and just go from there. But yeah, it's if nobody makes anything, you just integrate into it. It's not the end of the world. It's a Ford. So as long as it doesn't have a 3-liter engine, you'll be fine. If it's a 2.3 liter or whatever, or the smaller engine, then it won't have the fake engine noise. Worst comes to worst, if it has the fake engine noise, you have 2 options for a Ford. You can either take it back to the dealer and have them unprogram it, or you can take matters in your own hands and use ForScan to get it to do whatever you want. What's up? Not much, just trying to get through the day. Hold on. Whoa, what happened? Do you do estimates? I am in Orlando and would gladly drive down to, yeah, we do them all the time. It's just a matter of, it depends. If you just need something that's off the shelf, simple enough to estimate, Paul, you can call Paul. Paul will take care of it for you. If it's something that we need to get more involved in and figure out, something that isn't as normal, basic type stuff, then I'll have to call you back, which could take a couple weeks, not gonna lie. I want to thank you all for all your videos. I'm almost done installing my system. Thanks for the info on the Amp Pro and the harness that attached to the factory. Perfect, cheap, love it. Yeah, kicker, Bobby. Yeah, no doubt. Bobby's a big fan. You should drive from Orlando. I drive. Yeah, I know you do. Iowa in the house. I was thinking about you last night while I was running and all the aches and pains I was having. I was like, oh God. Is that factory cover as good as sealing up any other door like ABS? That factory cover, okay, so let's look at this factory cover for a minute. This factory cover has to stay here because this is actually part of the door panel. If you look closely, you can see this is the window regulator. This whole piece of plastic is the window regulator. It is not something that can be removed and discarded and you make something better to go there. There's the motor right there. These are the little pulleys for it. So this has to stay. This can't go away. We can't make a cool, metal, aluminum or anything like that. It's just part of the door. So instead of them making a door panel where you mount all this stuff in, a lot of these manufacturers are starting to do this style door panel where it's like you just get this pressed piece of thing and then this is all one piece. So when this stuff dies, you pull this off, you put a new one on, and you're back in business. So what is the cost of everything you're doing in this car? I honestly have no idea. My job is to install the stuff and to talk to people about how it's going to work in the car. The sales team over there, that's their job to figure out how much they're going to charge you to do it. I'm not my thing, man. I don't really get involved with it. I have no idea. Do you know if the newer BMW M cars have fake engine noise? Some of them do, some of them don't. A lot of the BMWs have a module in the back next to the factory amplifier that can be just unplugged or bypassed. The other nice thing about a BMW is the Europeans, they all get that stuff first and they love to make videos on it.
I think he was talking about the M4.
Yeah.
The M4, I think, is the module in the back.
Yeah, if it's an M4, there's a module in the back. So when you're in the back of the car right here where the factory amplifier is sitting like right up in front of the amplifier is a module that you just unplug and it just stops. It's like, oh, thank God. Did you guys no, we did not get a chance to listen to the song yet. Or did you get a chance to listen to it? I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't. We left here and I went home.
I'm going to. It's just...
Yeah. Would you run flax components for 50 or 60 frequency if adding Amp Pro in your... No, why 50 or 60? They're not subwoofers. 80 hertz, man. 80 hertz. That's why you have a sub. Let your sub do the work. Your sub's there putting out tons of bass. It'll carry it for you. Do not play them at 50 or 60 hertz. There's absolutely no reason to cross these speakers over at 50 or 60 hertz. 80 hertz, cool. Even if you were going to try to play them, you know how much sound treatment you have to do to your door to keep that speaker actually solid enough to play at 50 or 60 hertz without all the rattle and all the vibration and all the crap that's going on in the door panel, canceling all those frequencies out? That's not the job of that speaker to play down that low. Not at all. If you have one of those speakers and you're crossing over, you're probably going to blow it at some point because it's not made to do that. Okay, yes, this frequency response is from some ungodly low number all the way up to some stupid high number. That doesn't mean it's made to play all those frequencies equally. That's a 1 watt, 1 meter rating, okay? You ain't playing it at 1 watt, I can guarantee you that.
Nope.
Toyota RAV4 non-JBL, how do you install a Sony head unit? What iData harness do I need? Depends on the Sony head unit, if it's iData compatible or not, but iData will work with anybody's radio. It's a Toyota, so you don't need to actually retain anything. But there again, iData, you go to idatalink.com, and the website's right there. It'll tell you, you can type in all the things you're asking me, actually less things than what you're asking me, and it'll give you the parts that you need. It'll give you a total parts list at the end, and you rock and roll. It's super simple. They make it that way. I don't know all the part numbers for every single vehicle that's out there. It's just not a reasonable expectation of someone to have. I go to the website just like everyone else. What would be a good Audio Frog setup? Looking for front, rear, and good amps to turn them. You know, GB is the best stuff that they make as far as Audio Frog. You have GS, you have GB. If you got the money, you go GB. As far as which ones you want to go, the GB60 is renowned as being one of the best 6-inch mid-bass on the face of the earth. They have a 8-inch now, but if you're going to do the 8-inch, you're going to have to go with a 3-way set. So if you just have like this as a component set up front, GB60s in the front door, tweeter up in the top of the dash, get yourself some GS coaxials for the rear, and hook yourself up with some nice power. I mean, audio control, 110 watts, 120 watts per channel, D-class, you know, the D with the DSP. Great amp. Rock on. D with the D. No problem. Double frequency response, but always start at 80 hertz on the mids. Correct. Poor speakers don't play sub frequencies. Yeah. I flaxed and got it crossed over at 63.5. Whoops. There again, it's not the end of the world. Crossover points all depend on what you're trying to do and how responsible you are. There's no, like, the thing that everyone has to consider, it's like there's a lot of wrong ways to do something, but there's a lot of right and wrong ways to do something. So car audio is a gray line that is very wide, okay? So to say you can't ever cross those over at 63 hertz, of course you can cross them over at 63 hertz. There's no law that says you can't. It just depends what you're trying to do with them and whether that makes sense for what you're trying to do. You know, if you're back there and you have them at 63 hertz and you're playing booty shake, rump, rump, boom, boom, crack, crack, or all day long, God, no, don't have them. That's not what they're made for. However, if you're listening to jazz, you maybe have one 10-inch in the back, you got about 75 watts or 150, you know, you have a reasonable amount of power to them, but you're not playing them balls to the wall all day long, and you're getting a good frequency response out of them, and it sounds wonderful. There's no reason to not play them that way. You just have to know how you're doing this. You know, when we put something together, it's not my car, it's your car. So I don't know you, so I have to be like, okay, I have to err on the side of caution that you're going to do everything possibly wrong with your stereo. So we have to set it up that way. Whereas like Jeff Smith, he gets in his car, he does what he does with his car, Fernando does with his, Andy at Audio Frog is going to do that. I can tell you right now, Andy would never cross over a speaker at that frequency. He would lose his goddamn mind. Because it needs to be up. Doesn't need it. It's not its job. Its job is to play mid-range, mid-bass. The woofer will do everything else. So, you know, there again, have fun with it. Then buy 8s and do 15 hertz. Dude, if you're going to put an 8 in the door, you better have concrete, because, man, they're going to resonate like a mother. The best is the Chevy Corvette. Has a 10-inch in the door, that Bose 10-inch in the door. If you ever want to have fun, walk up to a Chevy Corvette when the guy's jamming on it, and I guarantee you that this skin on this door is going to be breathing, just breathing. That fiberglass is just moving. You can hold your hand out like this, and it'll just smack the back of your hand as you're just sitting there, because they didn't design it really well. You know, they keep it light. It's all fiberglass. It just flexes, and it sounds so shitty for a 10-inch in the door. I mean, think about it. They have 2 10s in the front doors of that car. It should sound insane, and it doesn't. Go figure. Crank it up all the way to 11. Budget front stage coaxials, doors for an Avalon. Maximus. I'm sorry. Yeah, Maximus. Maximus with the US at the end, not Maximos. Maximus from Morel. Great budgeted, high-end component at a reasonable price. By far, a budget for sure with what we sell. Awesome buy. You have the Centos from Focal. You also have, dude, Kenwood Exelons. Yes, thank you. Centos from Hertz. Another speaker, there again, we talked about Focal. Focal has the integration line. The integration line is awesome. You get that access tweeter with the integration line. Sounds so nice. A lot of people buy the access just for the tweeter, so they kind of scale down the mid-bass just a little bit. You get that awesome tweeter. You don't get the big passive crossovers. You get inline crossovers for both the mid and the tweeter. So they've taken a lot of the expense out of the speaker that way. So yeah, a lot of the nonsense they take out for some of these inexpensive, but you still get a really high quality speaker with them. Hi Dean, have you done any work on a Toyota Land Cruiser 200 VX? We have an audio control DQ61 and can't seem to height right. Can the DSP amp be removed? Probably not be able to remove the Land Cruiser DSP. The thing, okay. Don't try to do time alignment, because that's a fool's errand. The car's already time aligned, so you don't need to try to do that. It has all pass filters, it'll do that. So if you're trying to do the whole little turn the dial thingy to get like the time alignments work, it will never work. The all pass filters are gonna gate that. You shouldn't need to though. Really the problem is that you need a better processor. That one is only gonna allow you to kind of push some frequency here and there. It's one of those situations where if you're doing a basic system like that, don't overthink it. Keep it very simple. Don't do any time alignment. Don't just add in the crossovers and do minimal equalization. Just enough equalization to try to make what you have sound a little better. I know it doesn't make any sense, but if you leave it alone, it should stage pretty well. The other thing too is if it's passive, which I'm guessing it is, you're going to have to use the attenuation for the tweeter on the crossover. My guess is if you didn't put it at like -3 or -6, if it has it, that's going to be a problem too, because they have a boost in the treble range that if you leave it at 0, it's just going to be way too much sound coming off that tweeter, and you're going to have to tone that sucker down a lot. If you can try to do it through the EQ, but it's much easier just to do it through the attenuation on the passive crossover. It'll do a better job. Definitely do a better job. Off Kenwood head unit. No, different guy. Add adapter for 2020 Silverado. Haven't been able to find one. Any ideas? Thank you, please. Okay, if it's a Bose system, Nav TV AVB. If it's not a Bose system, there really isn't anything. That's great. Metra does make one of their DSP adapters for it, which is okay. But it's not spectacular. What you can do is, hold on, where's it at? Give me 1 second. If you get this, so Metra does make a harness now, but not really. Let me show you why. So this is the AX extension for the GM LN30 and the LN31. These are two different harnesses, so you'd have to figure out which one is in your car. But as you can see, it has a male and female end on it, so you can use this as a T-harness in your vehicle. You also notice that all the wires are blue. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of work, but you'll be able to use this to go into some form of high-level to low-level adapter and make your system sound wonderful. Okay, so some of the other things to think about when using a factory system, you just, especially because there's no interface for it, you just kind of have to slow it down a little bit and realize that you're not going to get the most amazing everything yet. But the more money you spend on it, the better it will sound. Pretty much it. And if you can go active, go active. Factory integration, if you can go active, but you don't have to go with 1,000,000 watts of anything. It's just, or go in a situation where you have attenuation capability through the passive crossover. It's going to be key. That's when integrating into something like this, where you're keeping that factory radio, that attenuation in the passive crossover becomes extremely benefit. What's wonderful. Yes, you can put a DSP in this, which we are, and we can control the high frequency from it, but being able to attenuate it before that needed through the EQ is way better. You have a much better results. The Milli series from Hertz, do they have soft dome tweeters? They do have soft dome tweeters, and they are loud. They're the exception to the rule as far as soft domes can't get loud. No, man, they're like rock and roll speakers all day long, man. These things just scream. They sound just, if that's your thing, there you go. RAV4 2014. I can only find Crux on Crutchfield that keeps the steering wheel controls, including dash kit. If that's all you can find, then that's what you go with. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of them, but if they make the product and it works, yeah, go for it. I mean, you play the cards you're dealt. That's just, we've said it 1,000,000 times. We'll say it 1,000,000 more. Car deal is all about compromise, man. It's all about just figuring out what you can do, what you can't do, and pushing it as far as you can. If they're the only guys making an interface for that, which I find that hard to believe, but hey, you never know, then that's what you do. I'm just surprised that they're the only guys that make an interface for that. 14. I mean, I feel like we've done that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we would have used a pack, you know, if we're just doing steering wheel control interface, but 5-channel amp 2020 RAM, Kenwood, audio control, or Rockford Fosgate? It's 2020 RAM. We're keeping the factory radio. We want a 5-channel amp. I'm doing this right here. I'm doing this. Okay, XR 606 DSP amplifier packaged with the Maestro. So this will, all you have to do is you buy this combination right here. It's a 6-channel amp with 4 channels of preamp output. If you're just gonna be powering like 1 sub, possibly 2 small 10s, really efficient, you can use this as a 5-channel amp. However, if you wanna go full active with it, so you have the speakers in the dash, you have speakers in the door, you have speakers in the rear, 6 channels with 4 channels of output. That means I can buy this to run all my mids and highs, actively cross everything over, it's full DSP, full everything, and buy a small sub amp to power my sub. Why is this cool? Why is this what I'd buy? Well, the only thing you have to do is come over here and go to iData and figure out whether you need the 2, 3, or 4. And this is gonna plug right into your radio, or the DCH3, maybe that one too. This is gonna reflash your factory radio to the premium sound system. So if you didn't get the premium sound, it's not a big deal. This will reflash your factory radio to premium sound. You plug this in and boom, there you go. You have a full preamp section, everything you need, super simple. It's all set up through a phone app. You don't have to plug it into a laptop. We have a video of this in a RAM. So if you type in that model number, we walk you through the whole process of putting this thing in, and we use it as a 5-channel amp. I think it's a 2018 or 2019 RAM. So check that out, see if that helps you. And with that, guys, I would love to stay in chat for as long as I possibly could, but I gotta get back to work. I gotta finish this amplifier rack, get it done. We're on the clock, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been 5 Minutes with 5-Star Fernando.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Cool, airplanes. Good afternoon, everyone. Look at that. Oh, it's flying away. Somebody's gotta get away. So we haven't really talked much about the sub, but and this is the Kia Soul, getting ready to pull it around and get rid of it. This is an L7T12 in a downfiring box that we put in the back here. He uses this for tools and stuff like that, or just stuff or groceries. I don't know. The downfiring box though is becoming more and more popular, and when you put something like an L7T in there, man, it just goes off. The amplifiers are in. Hold on, you kind of saw them there. Let me get a light. Had to replace all our lights this week. It was really kind of tragic. These things are expensive. All right, so here we go. We said that they were gonna fit. We've seen them on the bench. Bracket goes down. He's got two floor mats in here. If these weren't, you know, if this was a regular floor mat, you can see we still got plenty of air there. With this amplifiers both snugly fit. There's lots of room in the front for the wiring. But those both went in there. That was with the seat slid all the way forward. Let's slide it all the way back. And there we go. So that is, there's our cool wiring. Power wire went up into the firewall on this side. So this is what we ended up with underneath the hood. You can see there's where they came through. There's a factory grommet right there. We drilled 3 holes underneath it, and we brought our 3 wires up, did a bunch of zip tie work. Then we made one solid panel that goes from this point here all the way across. And then Fernando wanted us to make another main fuses. Added another Stormtrooper logo to match the one in the front of his car and the one at the base knob. We also added in the shrink wrap to tell you the one that says aux power. He has a he needed an aux power for like power supply or radio of some kind, like a walkie-talkie. So we added in a distribution box exactly where we wanted it, so we put it there. and that's a dual power, dual ground. So you're all good. You can control that. Grills are all back on in the tweeters. Come back around here, 0 gauge. And then, if you didn't see this yesterday, this is the bass knob, audio control, Stormtrooper logo. That's it. This thing is done. I know, right? Oh, thank God. Happy with it. Excited. Enjoy the way it sounded. Sounds really nice. The blue thing sent out back, we just have to hurry up and get done. That's just a 112 or 212 ported, simple 1 amp thing. It's what happens, you know, on a day like this or a week like this, where it's just big job after big job, and then it's like, oh, you got to do all this little stuff now. And of course, it's towards the end of the day, so got to rock and roll and get this done. But I just wanted to come on and show you guys the Kia, let you see the finished product. The fuses underneath the hood were really one of our main concerns, is how we were going to terminate that. And I think we came up with a pretty cool solution using the factory nuts that hold on this shielding here. And it just, he wanted the red. He's like, I like the red. So if you guys are like, oh, I don't like the red. Yeah. Awesome show last night with Vega. Thank you. I had a great time. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the Vegas show. I like to think of it as a nice break on Thursday nights. We talk a little audio, we talk a little movies, we talk some food. You know, we have a good time. It's just like, guys, it's how we do it, right? When we're talking with our buddies, we talk a little bit of everything, and it's just a lot of fun. And you guys in the comments are just having a blast. And to me, that's what it's all about. But this is done. Are you happy, Fernando?
I'm happy.
He's happy. That's all we're looking for here. I'd like to stay and chat, but listen, I got to get going. We got to get back to work. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. This has been 5 Minutes 5 Star. Fernando.
Bye, guys.